afternoon, Yeshiva at Frisch. I'm Alex Massell, and this is the Frisch News Network. March is International Women's Month, a chance to celebrate the contributions women have made to the United States and recognize their achievements throughout history. Kayla Mantel sat down with our very own Frisch teacher, Ms. Herzog, who has her own story to tell, giving an interesting perspective on women in our lives.
March is Women's History Month, celebrating women's achievements and continuing the fight for women's rights. Here at Frisch, we have so many female role models to look up to. I sat down with one of our female administrators to find out more about her journey and how she looks to inspire the next generation of young women. Hello, Mrs. Herzog. Thank you for sitting down with me to answer some questions.
Thank you for having me. It's exciting.
So my first question is, what did you do for college?
Okay, what did I do for college? So I came in not quite knowing what I wanted to do, which I think is pretty common. I actually thought I wanted to be an archaeologist or do something in international relations. I really enjoyed traveling, that I knew. And I also love Spanish. So I went on a little bit of a journey of taking different classes over the years and ended up, I really enjoyed my political science classes. And it was kind of between that and history. And I chose political science. And then I had taken Spanish classes along the way. And my junior year, I always knew I wanted to study abroad in Spain. And I studied a semester in Spain. And when it came to senior year, I realized I had taken so many courses in Spanish and had gone abroad that it was very easy to double major. So I ended up getting a BA in Spanish and in political science. And right after college, I got a job teaching Spanish at a small independent school and realized that it's something I wanted to do. I really enjoy teaching Spanish. I love it, even to this day. And I ended up getting a master's in, well, in Spanish, you call it Filología Española, or Spanish philology.
Tell us about your first journey from being a Spanish teacher to now an administrator.
I came to Frisch, this is my 7th year, about 7 years ago, as a Spanish teacher, very excited. I had taken a few years off when I started having kids, and had worked in more of an administrative role in an office for early education, and that was great. But I came back to Frisch. I went back to teaching Spanish and just discovered a real love for the school and for the students. And so the second year I was here, I actually became a sophomore grade dean. Shout out to Rabbi Sher, who was my partner there, and had just a really wonderful year getting to know even more students, because, you know, my first year of teaching, I really only got to know the students who were in my class, and I taught 5 classes. So I met a number of students, but becoming grade dean was an amazing way to really see the ins and outs of what was going on, specifically with sophomores, which was great, and going on trips with them and just really hanging out in the grade dean office was interesting to get that perspective on things. And then I had the opportunity to take over as director of general studies, and it was nice. Like I said, I had a background in administration already, and enjoyed getting to know more students, and it was just a little leap to really focusing on everyone in the school. And I've always been a person who I like kind of multitasking and doing lots of things at the same time. So this is a way that I think sometimes it's a lot, but it's also fun to be able to interact with teachers and interact with parents and interact with students, and just kind of get to know everything that's going on in the school.
Right. Who is one of your role models as a woman, and who is a biblical womanly figure that you look up to?
Okay, so as a woman, the first person who comes to mind is my mom, who she lived in Buell on Mea Esrim. And I think it's interesting because when when I became a mom and my kids started getting bigger, I realized more and more how much she did for us as a mother, as a woman. And she's someone that I try to emulate today. She, raised three kids, and she was part of that generation that I think when we were very little, she wasn't working, where most moms stayed home. But then she started working full time when I was young, and that's what I saw. I saw a mom who worked, and she's a social worker and loved working with people. And she was also, and I still don't know how she did it, but she was so involved in community activities, and would be at meetings at night, and she schlepped my brothers and me around to all of our sports, all evenings, all in different places, and on the weekends, and even through college, she'd show up at my track meets, drive a couple hours and to watch. And I just felt like she was so committed. And just as a person, she's someone who, she doesn't get flustered, which is pretty amazing. She just kind of, whatever happens, Gamzu Latova, and just keeps going. And I love her, and it's amazing. And I hope to be like that. And then in terms of biblical, so I would say Deborah carries my name. And, she was just a strong woman and a general. And I think that's a wonderful thing, to be a strong woman and to be a role model and a leader. And, she gave advice and helped people, instructed them on how to live better. And I'd love to see myself like that, as someone who can be a role model, who is a role model, and striving to help people and strong. Yeah.
I think you do a good job reflecting that.
Oh, thank you.
In your role as Director of General Studies, how do you hope to inspire the next generation of women in Frisch?
Oh, wow. Being able to have a profession, to do what you love, to do activities that you enjoy, that you're passionate about, and to raise a family. And I love that I'm able to have my family and to be a mother, to take care of the home, but also to come out and do what I love, which is working with students and working with other people, teaching, and just showing the women of the school that that's something you can do and you can aspire to, and you can do what you want. Yeah.
And finally, do you have any special hidden talents you would like to share with us?
A hidden talent. I am fantastic at, let's say, 80s karaoke. So if you catch me in the aisles of ShopRite on a Motzi Shabbos, you'll see me at my best. Other than that, I think that most of my athletic talents, which I guess weren't so hidden at one point, are kind of when I was younger. But I still see myself as, in my own mind, as a young person who has many talents, I guess. But yeah.
Well, that concludes this month's interview. Thank you, Mrs. Herzog. Viewers, remember to show appreciation for the women in your lives. For Frisch News, I'm Kayla Mantel.
Thanks, Kayla. Well, that's about it for us today. On behalf of the Frisch News team, we thank you for watching and wish you a Chag Kasher v'Sameach.
אחד אני יודע,